Woo! Hello and welcome, everybody. Welcome to Footy Abroad here on three of your favourite YouTube channels, Pommy in Oz, Saints TV, Blue Abroad. We are swoopless tonight, lads. How are we doing?
Good, mate. How are you?
Not bad, not bad.
Yeah, I'm good. I mean, I do like you guys, but it's not quite the same. Like, I feel like we were in a nice little groove, like with the four of us. It's not, yeah.
He couldn't handle the Carlton energy tonight. Needed to take it off. I reckon he's done this before too. I reckon he did it last
He's run
year.
away after a Carlton win.
Yeah, 100%. He's like, nah, I can't do it. Even after 1 week, he's like, nah, going to the comedy festival instead. Good on him.
Well, I don't know, like, I put the title, like Flagpies, like I got around the pies this week, you know. I thought, you know, don't be so dismissive. Pies were up and about, played really well. But yeah, unfortunately, no Luke tonight. He is busy. He has other plans, but I am gonna guess that he'll be back next week. But that's okay because we can, you know, we'll soldier on, and I'm sure tonight's going to be just as entertaining. We might get some people in for some fan cams a little later on and make do.
Yeah, pump for it. Should be good.
Yeah. You know what, Jake? We'll start with you, mate. How was the weekend? Why do you find yourself down the bottom there? Like, how were the Saints this week?
Saints this week, bit of a mixed bag. Played the Giants, who are definitely not on fraud watch, Pommy. They are a very good outfit. And they showed us kind of where we want to get to, why they've made so many prelims, why they've made a grand final, why they're, to me, up there with Brisbane at the moment as sort of the form team, despite them losing a game. But I think they are absolutely right up there as a contender, one of my premiership favourites. And we started well. We started really bright. Second and third quarter, particularly the third quarter, kind of let us down 8-3. And then we kept them goalless in the last, kicked 4 of our own, and kind of fought the game out, which was a really pleasing sign because it looked very reminiscent to round 1 when we played the Crows, and they kind of finished us off in the last quarter. But I think we take a little bit of momentum now going into the Doggies game because of how we started well, we finished well. It was just that third quarter where, I mean, you know, the Giants did it to you boys like last year. When they click and they just have that one quarter where they just play perfect football, I feel like there's not many teams that can actually go with them. Cadman, like Hogan in good form. We kept the talls pretty well held. It was just Toby Green kicked 5, which was usually Webster does a job on him, but he drifted into the midfield, pushed back into the forward line, kind of lost his man, and that's how he capitalised. But Garcia stood up. The young boy stood up, Windhager. But a couple of the senior players would want to play better this week. Jack Steele and Marshall are kind of, they got well beaten. But I don't think we lose any fans. Like, it's not a loss that I think about too much. Like, we played a good team. We're years off where they are in development, and hopefully we can sort of take something from it. But that's 2 losses against 2 of the best forward lines, I think, in the comp, and we're undersized. So it's not hugely surprising.
How important is the fight back at the end?
Really important. No, I think it's crucial going to the next week. I think it builds a little bit of belief, and it was nice that we stuck to our guns. We didn't look at the scoreboard and try and play defensive and slow the game down and try and just negate and kind of keep the margin where it was. We wanted to fight it out. We wanted to put pressure on the Giants, and I don't necessarily think they put the cue in the rack. I think we did actually lift. We kicked 3 goals within 4 minutes. Like, within the 16-minute mark, we bridged the gap by 20 points. And we started, like, 4 goals to 2. We had 12 inside 50s to 2 in the first quarter. We were dominant. But it was just really that third quarter. So, yeah, I don't look at this week and kind of worry about it too much. It's one of those games you just kind of tip your hat and go, the Giants are bloody good. They're going to do that to a lot of teams, and we'll learn from it and hopefully bounce back.
Yeah. Pommy, our Blues got a win. And that's all that matters.
Up and about.
Oh,
They're back. They're
no,
back.
we're not.
We're so bloody back. It was nice, wasn't it? I mean, I had to take GWS off Fraud Watch on the show last night, but I'm still not 100% convinced. I feel like Jake might be a river in Egypt at the minute, a bit in denial, but I still think they're on Fraud Watch.
That's
I'll tell
a horrible joke. That's moving on, but yeah, that's horrible.
Look at him. He's no longer.
Haven't heard that one before, Pommy. He's losing the originality already, Terry. Let's get into the football, shall we?
Sorry. But yeah, we obviously the Blues won. Was it pretty? No. Was it like the most complete performance? No. But I was bold last week, wasn't I? I said that St Kilda would win, but I also said that the Blues would win by 10 goals. So, like, there we are. We got it. And we needed it, didn't we? We needed the vibe, man. We needed the vibe. So, am I reading into it? No. Have I still got a holiday booked in September? You bet your ass I have. I'm looking forward to that. But I'm happy. It's nice to do it on a win. I thought you were going to make me be a Collingwood supporter then and be like, Palm, all the Collingwood fans have jumped on your channel. Can you tell us about the pies? And I was like, okay.
Yeah. No, yeah. I mean, I think it was just more importantly, it was just a day that we just didn't need to have another loss and therefore another meltdown. Because I think another loss would have been just another layer of just, yelling and screaming and sadness and sacking everyone in, via our commentary. And yeah, a few players got themselves into form, which, I mean, are they really in form yet? You can't really say they're in form just because of one game. So we'll see how the next few weeks play out. But more than anything, it was just nice to be breathing. And then we'll just see what happens this week. Jake, have you ever watched the Saints win by, say, 11, 12 goals and still be dissatisfied? Or are we, as Carlton supporters, being a bit entitled? Because, the 71-point win is a solid margin in the context of any week, but there was just this overwhelming feeling of, wow, that really should have been at least 6 goals more. Is that fair? Or are we just being a bit bratty?
No, I don't think you're being bratty. Funnily enough, the game that I'm thinking of was against West Coast last year, where I think we beat them by around 70 points. But it was mainly in the last quarter and a half that we kind of did it. It was a bit of a tussle for the first 2 quarters. And I thought, well, we only played half a good game and that was enough to win the game. But against the better teams, you have to play 3 to 4 quarters. So I feel like, if you don't, maybe that's just a West Coast thing. If you play West Coast and you don't beat them by 100, you feel like maybe you left a few goals on the table. But certainly I've had some wins where you kind of look back and go, doesn't really feel that good. You kind of want them to just fast forward a week, do it again, and then you can kind of tick it off. So if you do it against North, I guess then you can say, well, okay, that's a bit of a sign. But in a nutshell, you kind of I would just take the 4 points and not think too much about the margin. Just kind of take the points and run.
True.
And then try and go for 2 in a row.
Yep. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to move right on, not get too caught up in the win and not get too ahead of ourselves and be humble and learn our lessons from the past. And that is to just understand that we are not a great big thing that we think we are. We just got to go step by step, week to week. Having said that, Pommy, or maybe we can wedge you in the middle. Jake, do you want to kick us off? Have you got a topic or a thought this week?
I had a couple topics last week and I went for the other one. So I'm going to go for the second one now, which is as a Saints fan, we reminisce a lot, in the past and look at past highlights and lowlights. And I was thinking, if you could literally teleport back to a specific moment in a game that you wish you could experience for the first time again, what would it be? And I'm actually glad Swoop's not here because he'll just be boring and say the granny, the final siren. But it might even be a moment in a loss that in that moment you thought you'd win and it was incredible. Like for me, one of them could be Goddard's mark in the draw where I thought we would win. Like in that moment, I thought we would win. So you kind of want to replay that. Maybe there was a moment for Swoop in certain other games that he would love. But what's a moment and the fans watching as well. Put it in the comments. What's something you'd love to experience all over again?
Oh, I mean, final siren, semi-final against the D's. That's the pinnacle of football, my football experience, which I know is not a flag, but that is that what's the word?
Was the final siren better than the Akers goal
Yeah.
moment?
Yeah. For me it was, because it was finite. We were definitely going through the next week. I've never had energy come out of me. It was ugly. Like there's actually a video of me like jumping. It's just jumping up and down and like I'm purple in the face. Like it's not a pretty sight. It's an ugly sight. But I've never had energy come out of me like that at the football ever. Like it was pure magic. I can only imagine what a flag's going to be like if it ever happens. So that would be mine.
Yep. Tom?
Probably, look, AFL, probably the Mark Murphy goal versus Fremantle.
Oh,
Mark Murphy goal. Was that away? That was away, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Like I remember the vibes were pretty low. We're kind of starting to get a bit higher, weren't they, Terry, at that time? For us, we were starting to go into games with a little bit of confidence. We started to seeing some wins. And yeah, I thought that was good. But if we're talking world sport, happiest I'd ever be, this is my happy place whenever I'm sad. 1999 Champions League final against Bayern Munich. Sat on my pop's lap, him filling me full of joy that this is the biggest moment of your life, son. I've seen one, and I thought I was going to see more. I finally get to share one with you. Win, lose or draw, this is going to be a magical night. My nan sat next to me embracing it and watching that win. Like that was probably the last time I was 100% happy. In that I've never been as happy outside and inside in my life as I was as a 14-year-old that day. And I don't think I'll ever feel that happiness again.
wow.
Before life kicked the tits out of me.
Absolute tits.
But I always remember it. And you know what? I was lucky enough to witness another one with my grandfather, because obviously we won one a decade later. But I remember that was the big thing for him. Like he saw one and he wanted me to see one with his beloved United. And to share that moment with grandma alive, granddad and me, and really just imagining that I might never see one of these again. And because he never did, he got to see two, and then obviously he got to see three, and I'll probably never see a third. So get them out of your way now. I've had two. It's all right.
Well, this might be a good question to ask the chat.
Yeah.
While we get Jake's one, but because the three of us have never experienced a granny. Those of you who were in the chat, how can you describe the feeling of the final siren when your team does win the premiership? Jake, what was your one? What was your moment? Did you say it?
No, I've got Rewalt's toe poke in the 09 prelim against the Dogs.
Oh.
That final moment with a couple minutes to go, when I think they held us goalless for pretty much that whole quarter, and they were coming pretty hard. And that was kind of a huge moment with my uncle. Big hugs. Like we knew we were going to a granny, and almost the minutes counting down, knowing, 30 seconds, 20 seconds, 10, and then the final siren when you're in the grand final. Like that build up is just immense that whole week, but that moment there was pretty special. And the other one, honorable mention, would be already popped up in the comments, but Michael Gardner's mark in probably the best game ever played under the roof, I think, against the Cats to win us the game. That was, there's so many moments in that game, but that was incredible. 54,000, biggest crowd there. Undefeated teams after 14 weeks. So I don't think that'll potentially ever happen again. It's one of those things that I wonder what the next best is. Like two unbeaten teams, what the next best record is.
Yeah. Well, they had some serious battles, man, back then. Yeah. I loved that Saints team. I always loved watching them play. I didn't have a hatred towards the Saints at all. Never really have. But yeah, those battles.
Yeah, we had a ripper game against the Blues that year in that run, if you remember. It was like round 9 or 10. It was a Monday night, I think.
Monday night.
Full
Yep. We wore
house.
the light
You
blue.
guys, hey?
Did we
Yeah,
wear
I
the
think
light
so.
blue? Yeah.
I think you did, yeah. And I think we wore the old school, the 2010 granny, where it was kind of more white in the middle, which is a pretty cool kit. We started like a house. I was watching it in Italy, I remember, on the computer. And then you guys gave us a massive scan. Then Zach Dawson kicked the sealer with like a few minutes to go from the boundary. Our star fullback at the time kicked the sealer. It was good times.
Classic.
Yeah.
Now we're going to get some input from the chat. What it's like to win a granny. Awesome feeling, even hugging strangers. Ecstasy, not the best word to use when you work at an airport. In tears when Collingwood won in 2023, mainly because my grandfather had passed away earlier that year, but truly the grand final win tends to lead to tears. I think it's safe to say all three of us will. I mean, I know I'll bawl my eyes out just knowing how much I would have lived through up until that point. I don't know.
That's beautiful, that from Sean as well. Like,
Yeah.
because I always say it's for the empty chair. Like, it's a crazy thing.
Yeah.
But we all love sport, probably because a granddad, a grandma, a mum, a dad, we share them moments with our closest. One day you'll look to your left and that'll be empty. But you somehow smile through them moments that you kind of maybe stupidly think they're watching it with you as well. Deep that. Love that, Sean.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I've heard this as well. Says I've had a few people from like the Carlton community say this as well. Like 95 was awesome because you win the flag, but it was a bit expected and they were the favourites. And those who were at 95 actually talk about that Melbourne final as being a better buzz, which is really interesting. I mean, I can't speak for 95. I don't remember it. So, yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing party. 82. Yep. Hugging strangers. I haven't hugged a stranger at the footy in a since that night.
I reckon I'll put my head in my hands and just sit there for a bit. I don't know.
Yeah, I think so.
You know, like I don't think I'll
yeah.
be jumping up and down going, oh my God. I think I'll be very more subdued than the people around me. I don't know.
Yeah, I get what you mean. I get what you mean. Because I mean that, especially because of what we do now, like we really live every single moment and like document it all and speak about everything and every injury and every fingernail that gets busted and every ankle that gets rolled and like everything. It's just, I don't know. One day, maybe one day.
Maybe one day. Yeah. Maybe this year. Who knows, boys?
Maybe this year.
Who knows? Crazy things can happen.
I'm going to go next because I have a feeling, Pommy, like we should leave the best till last. And I reckon after last week, Pommy will have us sorted out.
No pressure.
Yeah.
So, all right. How's this? Is the version of ourselves we become during the footy who we really are? So that raw, emotional, sometimes maybe most of the time irrational version, yelling at the screen, screaming at an umpire, or crying in the stands, or, is that us? Is that our truest selves stripped back? Or is it just a shadow coming out to play? Like, what's the real you?
That's excellent. That's a great question.
Yeah.
Wow. Is it me? Because it's like indoor when I play indoor and I play competitive sports. I'm very similar when I'm at the footy, when I'm playing a sport and I'm competitive in that win mode. And I get very vocal. But even at the footy, though, I kind of try and... I used to be more vocal before the channel. So I don't know if I'm kind of more conscious of people around me now and I don't want things to get clipped as much. It feels natural, though, It kind of just feels like... That is, I mean, it's part of you, but it doesn't have to be all of you, right?
Well, I guess that's the discussion. I mean, when I'm in footy mode, and I've thought about this as well. Like, I mean, I'm irrational, I'm emotional, and I'm not like that all the time. I'd like to think, for the most part, I'd like to be pretty calculated and measured and be in control of my emotions. The footy is the opportunity for me to lean into my emotions, and it's. No, I think the longer that we do all this, like those questions come up in my mind, like, who am I? Like, what's the real me?
Yeah.
You know,
there's people around you too doing it, so you share that. Whereas like most of what we do is very much independent, and we're kind of doing our own thing in our own worlds, in our own bubbles. But when you have people around you that are screaming very similar things, or as one-eyed as you, it kind of fuels it in a way because you get to share it. It's not just for you, whereas kind of most other parts of my day would be just for me. I don't really share it with other people. Part of the truth. Yeah.
This is a great comment. An unfiltered part of your truth, whether it's a projection of something repressed or an authentic moment, it's your truth.
I think it is something. I agree with the repressed. yeah.
Well, I've had a great conversation with the Explicit Empress. I think it was around fan cams in particular, and the idea is that for men in general, most men don't have a great ability to express themselves passionately and emotionally. And what footy does is actually give men, I mean, I speak to mostly men on the fan cams, I would say, and it gives men an opportunity to express what's inside via their football team's performance, which is quite beautiful and deep when you think about it. And most of the time, if not all the time, it is a projection of themselves and what they're feeling about themselves or the world. And it's very deep, but I do think that is also the beauty of football and sport for men. And I'm not saying it's not for women. I'm just using that example. But yeah, Pommy, what's the real you? The sport you, or is that a little bit of the real you and a little bit of the rest of it is not the real you too?
Zoe'd probably be a better place to answer this than me, but I'd say what you see when you watch the watch along is me any stage in my life when I don't control the narrative. I have to draw on the extremes to get myself through it. So yeah, probably it is 100% me. Do you know what I mean? Because you do see me, like, you see me about 12 hours after the game. I'm as angry as I was 12 hours ago. I'm fairly back to being calm. So that's probably who I am as a human being. I react on instinct at first, and then I have a cup of tea, and 10 minutes later, I think about what I've done, and we come back and fix it. So I don't go into a different place and a different area. I can quite happily say, Pom, when he's in the car, someone cuts him off. What I call an umpire for missing holding the ball is the same as I call the guy at Coles who cuts me off as well. So it probably is me, 100%.
Yeah. I mean, I sort of thought about like my review against Collingwood, and just generally after losing to Collingwood, venom comes out of me, like genuine venom. There's like a poison, something that comes out. And even when we continue to go down the rabbit hole of just unprofessional shit performances, like I just don't have a lot of patience for unprofessionalism and excuses. Like I'm pretty patient, I would say, in like generally speaking. But I have a real lack of patience when like over and over again, I see just a lack of preparation from people that should be better. And yeah, every now and again, like the venom comes out of me. And then after Collingwood, usually after a bad loss to Collingwood, the venom comes out again. And I mean, that's not all of me, but that is part of me as well. Like I do have a darkness. I do have a dark side. Yeah, I just think it's an interesting question because we give so much of ourselves to the camera and the content and our communities. But I don't think we're always so charged up in real life all the time like what we are during a game.
No, I'd be like quite the opposite. Day to day, nothing rolls me up easily, but when I'm at the football, yeah, I'm happily like get frustrated quite quickly.
Coach, this is great. I've been banished to the shed when games are on as I go from a usually mild-mannered father of 3 to a cage-climbing member of the Moorabbin animal enclosure for 2 hours a week.
That's comment of the day.
Totally relate to that. Oh, man.
Is that Matthew McConaughey in the?
It is. It says...
Is that McConaughey's?
Jesus?
Yeah. All right.
Right.
Yeah, it's such a good like. What if you didn't have football then, and you didn't have that outlet? Where would that energy? Where would that go? How would that come out? It's similar to what we talked about last week. If there wasn't football, you'd have to plug in something else that evokes a similar sort of response.
Yeah.
Otherwise it kind of gets tucked away.
Well, a lot of us play sport growing up, and then it goes through there, and then we stop playing sport, and then we sort of live through the sport that we watch. I would likely be fighting a lot more, like combat, punching things. Yeah, I think that's a good release.
Smash room.
Go to the smash room. Yeah, all that sort of stuff.
Get the sledgehammer TV. Makes you feel a lot better.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Slovo. Sorry, mate.
There's a lot of repressed answers, anger in you two, isn't there?
Yeah,
I've noticed. Just being psychologist Pom here.
Well, like what I said last week about like the underdog thing. I think that comes out more because when things go your way, you kind of feel like that's the outlet to say F you to the world, because most of the time the world seems like it's not going that way. So it's kind of like, you know what I mean? Like it's kind of buried. So for me, it's a defying the odds anger, like that sort of thing. I wouldn't say it's like a pure anger, but there is like a root of it that is connected to, certain events and whatnot. But
I feel like Jake, if you had a beer with him, is one bad joke away when he's 8 pints in just from glassing you.
Well, I don't drink beer, Pom, so we're all good. And that's not the reason. That's not the reason why I don't drink beer, just to clarify. But moving on. When's this game show happening?
Everyone's got venom and darkness in them. I think the key is to learn how to use it. I think the dark side is important. It's just not to let it completely overtake. It's to learn how to use it to your advantage.
Yeah. When was can you imagine, both of you, the angriest moment on a stream, or like that you've like visually, that if you watch over now you're like, shit, I haven't been that angry on camera in a long time. Like I let it slip there. Like it came out, Or is this a whole discussion?
Oh, we can go there.
Because sometimes, if you look back on...
Like when has the venom come out the most?
Sorry, I've just got...
There's some quality clips of Terry. The Terry you all know and love now is a different Terry.
Yeah, there's a couple.
It's that you've got to get the freeze frame to freeze it on the moment that his face like morphs into something else.
If Terry's thinking of the same one as me, he was proper pissed.
Yeah.
he was proper pissed.
Oh, yeah. There's like 4. There's... I've said this before in this show, like one of the biggest regrets and mistakes that I made was at the very beginning. It was 2019. We played North Melbourne. Liam Jones got knocked out. There was like a frame of like Lockie Plowman like laughing and smiling with the boys, and it sent me. Like absolutely sent me. Like this guy's taking the piss, man. And I looked down the barrel of the camera. I'm like, you're a fucking fraud. Fuck you. And it was so wrong, and I should never have done it. And I'm like, it was just part of, the journey of learning. I was also very new to doing video. I didn't know the balance of entertaining and, like I was filthy at him. I had hatred towards him for the moment. And then I reckon Hawthorn last year, like venom came out of me in the review. And then
and we kicked it to Gibbons many fucking times.
Oh man. Oh, man, Jake Michael Gibbons, full forward. Like they were kicking it to him all day, and like I banged the desk, and like the cinematic effect of it, the tripod like shattered, like rattled, but the camera didn't fall, so like everything shook. Oh man, you do see it in my eyes. Like I've got it there. Yeah. We've got to learn.
Retro Terry, so honestly, so much better than today's Terry. I can't tell you, so much better. So much better. I've got to say. Yeah.
Pom, you've got some amazing fan cams, I must say.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, my entire discography is pretty angry, Jake. Explicit Emperor says it. I live in the dark side. It's where I feel happy. Do you know what I mean? Like, so all the negative emotions most humans feel, I feel I do my best work there. I feel safe there. So that probably says a lot about me as a human being. But probably the most famous one, the carrying Bryce Gibbs off the ground. I can't tell you how angry I was that day. It's not very often this football club makes me disappointed in the fan base, in the players, in the club, in themselves, but like how everyone acted that day to Bryce Gibbs when we were still mathematically a chance of playing finals. I still haven't recovered. Part of me died that day. Like there's probably 10% of love Carlton will never get back that died that day.
I could almost. There was a time I reckon I could have memorized word for word that entire speech.
Oh, mate. Yeah, I was proper angry. To be fair, I've done pretty well because, like, do you know what I mean? My ability to edit myself on the fly is amazing.
Yeah.
But I do say some funny things like wooden spoon dart. I know you enjoyed that when Carlton kept kicking to Eagles. And I'll just come up with real angry phrases like, the fucking contrast of blue is fucking so amazing. How can you not tell? Yeah, so I'll come up with stuff when I'm angry. But
my favorite line of yours ever would have to be, I mean, there's so many, but it would have to be the deepest of the holes in 23. We lost to Essendon, and you just said it so calmly. You're like, Lewis Young, I'm closer to some of my ex-girlfriends than what he was to Peter Wright tonight. What about you, Jake? What's the most venom that's come out of you where you look back and you're like, uh-oh?
Oh, you'd have to go back to 2018, 2019 live reviews. The live reviews that's where I let it out. I remember one, I think it was after we played Port in China and everyone was sick. It was shit. We flew over there and I remember it was pissing down rain. I had to go to the car soaked, and that first 5 minutes of that review was probably the most like directly angry to the team that I've been. But I wouldn't say I've had moments where I've said anything in particular that I would look back and sort of use as a catchphrase. It's just been more, you fucking shit, like that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Not. I mean, if I did
see
watch
Jake
alongs,
angry.
if I did watch alongs, it might come out, but I don't do watch alongs, so you get less of me at the game in the moment and more of me post game. So now I have a bit more time to sort of, I don't know, control it. But
Yeah.
early days, probably like you, new to it, and people enjoyed it. People wanted to see that side. And that's when we were genuinely shit and genuinely frustrated. Whereas now, like even on the weekend, there's no, like, I'm not going to rant for the sake of rants because we lost to the Giants. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of have a bit more perspective than probably what I did back then, whereas more reactionary. And definitely going at certain players more, like actually targeting players and saying this bloke was shit. What's he doing out there? Drop him, Whereas now, I don't think I go there too often. Not just because we're not as shit, basically.
Yeah. But also, I mean, you got to have a level of control and professionalism, I believe. And I think that's the hard part about doing things the right way. Because like the easy way would be to just rage, because it would be so entertaining and it would make the views explode, and everyone loves a rage comp, that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So I respect the fact that we don't go down that path.
I just remembered. Sorry to cut you off.
Yeah, go.
No, I just remembered. I started a live. I remember we played Sydney, and I started the live right as the final siren went, and it was zoomed in on the scoreboard. And I was standing in the living room, and then the camera flipped to me just standing there, just like just staring at the camera for like 30 seconds. And then I went into the office, sat down, and then I let rip. And that was the most live viewers I'd had. Like I think 1,300 tuned in that night.
Wow.
And I saw the numbers blowing up, and I'm like, okay, this isn't normal. But I've never started a review before the game ended, and I was already fuming before it even ended. Whereas usually it's final siren, 5 minutes, think it through, go live. Whereas this was, let's go. Let's just get it going. You don't even think. It's just a spontaneous sort of moment where you just go, hit go live. That little red button. And then it's history forever. That was probably the angriest. That was 2021, I think. We got belted.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that was good. That was a nice little segment. Pommy, what you got for us, mate?
Oh, mate, what haven't I got for you? I'm pretty good. Let's hope we enjoy this. I thought we'd have a little bit of fun today because we had a bit of fun last week. So let's get into it.
Nice.
Well, we're here, Family Feud. How exciting is this? But it's footy themed this week. This week, I'm joined by two special guests and evidently 154 of the special audience. So what we're doing today is something exciting. We don't often do this, but we're looking at obscure stats. And you'll see here is our Family Feud master sheet. What does one-on-one masters mean, Pommy? You might be thinking at home. And that's a good question. What we're talking about today is players in the AFL who have had the most one-on-one per game this year. And we're looking at above 2.5 per game, but with the lowest losing percentages. So winning the most of them. And that is who we're looking for today. So there's a few of them out there. There's a few very good footballers out there as well. That's what we're looking for in today's show. There's 6 of them that are ranked elite for one-on-ones, not lost, not won. I'm losing. Highest win percentage, one-on-ones, who are ranked elite for it. So that's what we're looking for.
I think I might have a sound. Hang on.
Hey, there we go.
I thought so.
Yeah.
So we're doing this with comments in the chat. Like, is that the way we're going to do it?
Well, look, you can do it between yourselves. I thought we could just have a little bit of fun between all of us. Do you know what I mean? So there is 6 players in this whole thing that are at the minute ranked elite for the amount of times they have faced a one-on-one contest, and they've played more than 2 games. So we're not counting 2 or more games. We're not counting like one lucky person. And I'll tell you, just to make it easy for you, the lowest losing percentage is 10%. So you're looking at the best of the best.
Oh, Wiedering would be one.
He's not in the top 6.
Oh.
Harris Andrews? Andrews?
Oh. Oh. Wilkie?
Tom Barras?
I'd look in chat. Chat have been
I'm
very
not
good
looking.
to you.
I'm
Sam
not
Taylor?
looking in chat.
Ding, 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 ding. Well done, Sam Taylor. So Sam Taylor currently has faced, on average, 2.8 in his 5 games, only losing 7% of them. And he is, Terry, third on that list. He is third on that list. So Sam Taylor is...
I thought I saw somewhere that Jacob Wiedering's not lost a one-on-one contest this year.
He's not ranked elite for one-on-ones faced, though.
Oh, okay. Whoa. Okay.
So they're only defenders, remember? You've got Sam Taylor. Chat have said 3 of them. I'll give you a clue. The clubs you're looking for are Adelaide, Collingwood, Carlton, GWS, and Geelong.
Jack Silvani?
Well done, Terry. Ding, 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 ding. Fourth, he has faced 2.7 one-on-ones in his 5 games, losing only 7.6 of his one-on-ones this year. So well done, Terry.
There's a lot of Darcy Moore in the comments.
It would be spot on. Darcy Moore is the number 1 player he has faced this year alone, currently on for an AFL record, but he has faced a staggering 20 one-on-ones and only lost 1 this year.
Wow. Adelaide.
So currently you are missing just 4. You are missing a GWS player, Adelaide player, and a Geelong player. You're missing 3, sorry.
Is Buckley? Is he here?
Well done, Jack Buckley is in here. He has faced, just in the AFL, high average of 2.6 per game, only losing 7.7 of them.
Jeez, we played 2 of the best one-on-ones without a key forward on the weekend. Yikes.
Jack Buckley.
So you're looking for number 2 and number 6. You're looking for the Adelaide man, and you're looking for the Geelong man. And I will tell you this, everyone's got everyone in chat. In chat, they have got everyone right.
Jack Henry?
Well done, Jack Henry, Geelong. He has faced just on the cutoff for elite one-on-ones, 2.5, and lost 10% of them.
Wow. And then there's an Adelaide player.
Might be the best, most missed key defender, and he's the only one on this list that is just on the cutoff of the stats. So I'll give you a clue. He is currently injured, but came out of the blocks incredibly well.
Mark Keane?
Nope. But right idea. His mate.
Oh, Mitch Hinge?
No. He's got 2 first names, if that helps.
Adelaide defense. It's not
pound for pound. Out of the top 20, he has faced the most one-on-ones in the defensive half in the league, bar Darcy Moore.
It would have to be... Hang on, I've got a sound for it.
That's so accurate.
Murray?
Yeah, Nick Murray is the missing man. A staggering 3 per game thus far. Only 1 to feature in the top 10 with more than that other than Moore. And he didn't win 1. Huge loss to the Adelaide Crows. But the giant door-opening man, Nick Murray, is second on the league. But look, quite a good, esteemed group of footballers there.
Can we do this every week? That is an elite segment.
What? So you want me to
Next
come up
week-
with some stupid
Just
stat?
do the opposite. The forwards that have won the most one-on-ones.
I was going to do it as a two-way segment and
Yeah.
write a load of jokes for the intro, but time got away from me today.
No, like as in you pick whatever you want to pick.
No, look, we can do it.
That was great. Like that's elite. And we can have like the sounds and like the whole lot.
Look, it'll be better.
Yeah, it's,
It
its
will be
own,
better.
it's its own segment now. It's not even a topic. It's just its own segment on the show.
True.
Well, we can do it. We can do it. So
We
to
can do
answer
this,
your question
guys.
about that, so like we said, that's why we specified over 2.5. Unfortunately for Jacob, because now Jack Silvani takes it, he's at a career low, Jacob Wheaterin, of only 1.5 one-on-ones per game. He's never faced that little since his debut year.
Yeah.
So just quietly, Jack Silvani, pound for pound, is the most improved player in the league this year.
Surprised Wilkie's not got more because of no Dougal Howard, but maybe Kamenides chopping him out more than I think.
Well,
Wilkie was leading that.
has exactly the same one-on-ones as Jacob Wheaterin, where Jacob Wheaterin hasn't lost one as of yet.
Yeah.
Callum Wilkie loses 12% of the time.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I just
So
think
what we
this
know from that
exercise-
is Jack Silvani is better than Callum Wilkie.
That's not true, but we'll pretend.
It is. But can't argue with
He's
that.
not.
He's not on there.
Well, when he gets the green jacket at the end of the year, then we can talk.
Look,
Yeah,
I
there you go. Moving on.
I think what you've done there, literally, I mean, the Darcy Moore narrative just got killed. And now Darcy Moore's back to his defensive best. And we've all just understood that. Like immediately.
And do you know what that is? Billy Frampton allowing Darcy Moore now to take the centre half forward as opposed to taking the full forward. So he's now a lot more dangerous and a lot more deadly. So really, it's a bit like Jack Silvani in a way. Do you know what I mean? It allows him to play to his strengths. So yeah, we could do that because I've got loads of obscure stats, but I was going to do the offensive one-on-ones because that's always an obscure one. But I thought this was quite fun.
Yeah. Big fan of that. Big fan of that. Slobbo, hey mate, let's get to your question. Question, guys. Is Simon Goodwin gone? Oof.
Yes.
When?
End of the year.
Okay.
I don't think anyone's on the radar that's good enough. And I think they probably need to just cool the Jets on the dramas off field and sort it out when the season's done. Or do you think doing it now? I'm just thinking like Petrarca, what's he thinking right now if Goodwin goes? Or do you think he's gone regardless? Same with Clary, although he's got like a 20-year contract.
Petrarca should be wearing the monogram.
Gone.
Dude.
Yeah.
I'd like to see him gone by the by, genuinely.
Reckon?
And I think Melbourne are in a fantastic position at the minute to sack him ASAP Rocky because he's come out and said mid-year last year, he was quite adamant that they need to take a new direction, play a new game style, play a modern-day brand, and then Goodwin admitted towards the end of the season, we shelved that idea because we want to bank wins. He's come out in pre-season this year and said that we're playing a new game style. It's going to take time and it's getting progressively worse. And I think they're in a fantastic position that they have got Alan Richardson in that back room and Mark Williams, right? So they can instantly bring someone straight away without using the soft cap. They can get rid of him because I'm a firm believer that the AFL, the reason that you see people get sacked very quickly in soccer, there is actually a scientific reason behind it. It's not just that we can bring someone in. It's the longer you leave it, the more bad habits ingrain into the team and the harder it is for the new coach. I find AFL fascinating that Melbourne would wait until round 24, further increasing an archaic game plan So the new coach has to come in and go, Jesus, these guys are all meatheads. Like, for me, I think it would be easy. Like, they've got Mark Williams there, often interviewed for head coaching positions. They kept him by making him the head of development. Speak to him and go, look, do you want to come in? We know Nathan Jones has done his coaching badges. Is it something as simple as Mark Williams will do it with Nathan Jones, handover process at the end of the year? He's got this, but Alan Richardson there, it's a free hit, isn't it? Because he's been there and done it. So whoever does it,
Richo said last year, or someone has alluded to, that this would be his last year at the club potentially, at Melbourne. So I don't know. Do you just give it to him knowing that he's going to wrap up as well at the end of the year? And he just carries through the rest. Like, what's the point if he's not going to be there beyond this year? You know? Who would get it?
If I was a D's fan, I'd want it now because you've got some incredible young talent that, let's be honest, Goodwin says the same thing. We're rigid. We're hard to break down. You just played the best team in the league at not giving a shit about defence in the terms of GWS. Like, they come and hurt you. That's how every side is playing. So, go. If I was the chairman right now, it would be, if he loses this weekend, see you later. Because Essendon have overtaken them. Other teams have overtaken them. Get rid of them.
Did you see the Goodwin statement today?
What did he say?
I didn't. No.
He said it was like a message to the D supporters. We're working hard, be patient, change is difficult, but we're going to become a better version. Come out and support us, be there on Saturday and see a team that competes and has the resilience and fight to it without the ball, and our scoring will improve. Right now, we're in a position where we need to evolve. I love that challenge as a coach. Our players are up for that change, but we need to do it together. It can be uncomfortable, but right now we're as committed as ever to what we're doing. I understand the outside noise is there. When you're 0-5 and not winning games of footy, you're going to be criticised, but I'm more than confident in my ability as a coach to lead change. I've done it for 7 years before success, and it is difficult, and it's not linear, and you will have periods where you're under enormous pressure, but I'm confident in myself. I'm confident in our coaches. I'm confident in our program, confident in our players to start to play a better footy. It's uncomfortable right now, but geez, it's going to make it more joyous when we get to the other side of it.
Interesting. That gives me
0
weeks before we sacked Richo vibes.
You know, it's what maybe because I come from like the most cutthroat sport in the world, like coaches, like where you guys give too much time. English soccer clubs probably take the piss. Like a player can, like a coach can forget a player's birthday and suddenly be sacked the day after. Like it's pretty ruthless. I just think like the amazing. We've got a West Coast fan, Danny, who she mentions this quite a lot about McQualter in there, learning bad habits, and the players have already had bad habits because they stuck on to him for so long. Couldn't agree more. Like to me, when you know someone's going, it's not working. No offense to Melbourne, but I think it's really obvious it's not the players. The game style is behind. He can't possibly compete, and no team can physically beat any other team anymore. Unfortunately, modern day teams all play on the outside, and it's weird because Melbourne have drafted well for that. It's almost like they're stuck in that mindset of we've got Oliver, we've got Petrarca, we've got Gorn, smash, Holt, smash. And you can see Harvey Langford start to learn the bad habits of dragging himself to the contest as opposed to staying loose. There's a great passage of play with Nick Dacos the other day. Over the top handball, blind, hits Darcy Cameron. And you can see that is instinctive in him because his whole job is to avoid the contest because he's so good in space. Harvey Langford wouldn't free himself up. He would be drawn to the contest because everyone does. And that's the mantra at Melbourne, midfield in numbers. So, like for me, 0-5, you can save the season. In my opinion, you could save the season. You turn it round, you could quite easily go on a decent run. They've got some healthy fixtures in the next 5 weeks. Why don't you just sack him now? You know it's not going to work. He won a flag because he was lucky. Let's be honest. He's the outlier. Everything else tells you that was a flash in the pan.
You think there's no devil's advocate, but there's no way that they would commit to him, like having, with his statement, and seems like he wants to be around. I know it's all.
Of course he wants to. He's got a mortgage to pay, mate. No one wants to get sacked. Do you know what I mean?
No, but I'm saying,
that's not a
like,
decision.
Yeah, we're just assuming Melbourne will do right by the fans, but not every football club operates that way. They could just keep him, man. Like, they could just keep him.
And history would say in the AFL they do, don't they? Because they'll look back and then you'll hear people say, well, Richmond nearly sacked Dimmer. Oh, no.
The Cats with Bomber Thompson.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? But you forget, everyone always leaves the most important part of the story. When you look at them from a structural, analytical and game style point of view, it's stacked up. The frustration was it was so close, yet just not quite there. Melbourne are so far away from a professional football outfit. And let's be honest, last year was shocking. The year before wasn't exactly brilliant. They are the Leicester City of the AFL. They won one against the grain and have never been close ever again.
Now I'm thinking I should have done who would you rather be, West Coast or Melbourne right now? Who would you rather be? Because they're both like
West Coast all day.
Really?
Even though they're a shit show, all day West Coast.
Because they'll lose Harley Reid, they'll lose Oscar Allen. Melbourne will probably lose a bunch of their senior players. It's not, it's a tough one.
Teresa's got it. I love Teresa. I'm so glad I've got some Collingwood fans here and I've got all the nice ones, so welcome. Teresa's got it. How many times have you seen in the AFL recently, get rid of a coach, it can change around straight away? Hawthorn, Collingwood. Like this whole archaic approach of loyalty. Oh, but Goodwin knows the play. Fuck Goodwin. Win flags. Prioritise winning flags over people's feelings. You're a business. If you were a millionaire, you don't want to hear the guy say, oh, my dog died though at the weekend and my daughter's having problems. You'd sack him because he's costing you money. Like, you wouldn't give second chances. Same with sport. So
who's out there? Because I know Hawthorn and Collingwood got some good coaches. We sacked Ratton in a pretty harsh way in the off-season and got Ross, and that's worked out, I think. I read somewhere that they were linking Bevo to the Melbourne job. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Luke Beveridge. Surely that Melbourne fans wouldn't be that excited about it, would they? I don't think Bevo would go to Melbourne. Like, why would you go from the Dogs to Melbourne?
Well, just change of scenery. He's been at the Dogs for a while. But whatever happened to, like, the up-and-coming stud coaches? Whatever happened to, Carousella? Whatever happened?
Who's the next Sam Mitchell that everyone's like, shit, he's going to be good? Like, who's being talked up, Pommy? Do you know? In the ranks?
Not really. And you know what? Cat Across the Ditch on our channel, spot on. I keep raving about him, Alan at Werribee. We're the only sport in the world that has some weird, like, you've got to be an assistant coach at a backwater club. Why do we have the state leagues when the state league teams are doing it? Like, I've said it for ages. When someone asks me about Carlton, I'd be like, save money on the cap space, steal Barlow from North, who's now trying to become a head coach and gave up the Werribee job to work as a development coach to hope he can get into the AFL frame, and bring James Allen across. They're both playing. You look at how Werribee play. It's modern day football with a twist, which Terry will remember when I was all over Sam Mitchell. You watch Box Hill in the VFL. They were playing a game style that no one ever played. It was weird to watch. It was exciting. I can't implore, if I was a chairman, why would I want tainted goods like Caracella? I'd want a guy that's a visionary, because in the AFL, no one coaches the same way. Mitchell is better than everyone else because he coaches a different way. Fly is incredible at what he does because he coaches and speaks totally different to all the other idiots we've got in the league. Chris Scott has been successful because he is Chris Scott, right? So, like, for me, why are you always looking for the next Mitchell? If I was a chairman, I'd be looking for the next big thing, not the next name. I'd be looking for what do I like? That would be the first question. How do you want to play football? Tell me what you think it looks like. And then the next question would be, have we got the players for that? And the third question would be to my list manager, can we find that bloke the players in 2 years? Where everyone's like Buckley. Do you know what I mean? Oh, I was really good at football, so I'm really good at coaching. I was a captain and everything. And everyone's like, oh, yeah, that's going to work, isn't it? But sport tells you, great player, average coach, genuinely.
Yeah.
Pom, would you include the doggies along with West Coast and North in your Pomnado video recently?
I assume that's on my channel, so thank you very much, Squirrel. I appreciate you because you are a big fan on our channel. I genuinely like the doggies this year. Bevo's kind of surprised me. I think they're playing incredibly well, considering that if you took Cripper out of Carlton, they would implode. I think if you took, I'm going to say it, and Jake's going to go, but we won without him, Pom. But I think if you took Steele out of St Kilda, they would be a massive decrease in what they would do. Someone else would have to do it. They're probably lucky they've got McRae, who is the best ball extractor in the league. But if you take a big name like that, a big figure, he's a big POD dog. So I've been quite impressed. No Trelaw, no Bont, but then also no backline up until round 3. Has impressed me from Bevo that they're playing a modern day brand, but staying quite rigid. So it kind of scares me what happens when Bont comes back, but I'll counter it. Is Kennedy going to get the same role? Is Riley West going to get the same role, which they're thriving in? Is Ed Richards going to be the exit all the time? Is this going to be affected when Trelaw's there and they're looking for Trelaw more and Bontempelli? Can these players go back to be B graders? Would be my one question mark about that, because I do feel like Beveridge is a bit like Carlton with its forward line. It's everything goes through Bont. It becomes monotonous. They've learned to spread it. When he comes back, can they learn to spread it?
I hope not, because I think he's going to come back against us this Sunday, from what I'm hearing.
The Bont?
What?
That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah, but he'll be cooked the first week.
I'm hoping, yeah, he'll be underdone, but still Bont.
I thought he was playing this week against the Giants. I mean, no, it's next week, isn't it? Sorry.
Yeah, so, I mean, if they save him for the Giants, great. Fantastic. But
fraud watch.
I keep seeing...
Back on.
The Giants are playing against the Crows at the Adelaide Oval.
Yeah.
Fraud watch is back. The Crows won't let me down. Go and get them, boys. Go on.
Lock of the week.
The Crows, you reckon? Lock of the week? They've lost 2 in a row. They were good games, though. They've lost 2 of the better games.
Yeah, I reckon the Crows will win.
Kicked 90 plus in both.
Yeah, Crows at home. It's going to be a cracking matchup. The Crows and the Giants.
Yeah, that's game of the round, for sure.
You know what? It got me thinking, though, right? Because on my show last night, we had this conversation about, is there a Vic bias to players? So, I'd love your opinion and chat's opinion. Everyone's hyping up Sam Darcy, and he's incredibly good, right? There's no getting away from it. I'm not going to make any outlandish statement that Sam Darcy isn't the sex, right? But Riley Thilthorpe, in my opinion, has been just as good, with probably more of a responsibility, as there's 2 incredible forwards around him, doing the same thing, smashing packs, winning the ball on the ground, bringing players into it. Do you feel like there is a massive, if you're Victorian, even in the draft, you see it as well. If you're Victorian, there is way too much hype for the same type of player. Like, I'm looking at Noah Anderson and thinking Noah Anderson is doing everything that the Victorian players that are getting hella props for, but he's doing it as a captain as well.
100%.
And do you also feel, can you see why players might want to trade to Queensland, Perth, knowing they're not going to get any punishment? They're not going to be under so much scrutiny. Because I look at Harry Mackay. Would he get as much scrutiny if he was at Adelaide?
Maybe at Adelaide, because it would be a state where there's 2 teams. But somewhere and they love the footy there more than what they love, the rugby. But Brisbane or Queensland or New South Wales, I think, like I hate to say it, it might be better for Harry. Like yeah. I mean, I want Harry to stay and I want him to get through this and I want him to thrive. But I totally understand why that would come up in conversation.
Yeah. I think, I mean, just to scratch that itch, I did want to look at Darcy and Thilthorpe, like to see if their stats stack up. I mean,
I think you'll find in like 90% of them, Thilthorpe is better as well.
No, really? It's the opposite. And Darcy's taken more than double contested marks, almost more than double marks, which is pretty, like 41 marks to 29, 20 to 8 contested in this year so far to Sam Darcy. I think that's where
as their number one target. Remember?
Yeah. Obviously, he's got to share the load with Walker and Fogarty, but yeah, I'm just looking at like for like. A lot of it was in Darcy's favour, but I do agree. I think same with Dacos. I think there's players around the league that don't play in Victoria that are maybe not as good, but definitely don't get a pump up. Like I feel like it's just come from 0 to 100 where I didn't hear much about Sam Darcy, and now every article is about Sam Darcy. Like every article, and everyone's saying he's the number one player in the comp. He's going to be the best player ever. I don't know. Like someone said Rankin was going to win the Brownlow. I was like, geez, we love throwing labels on these players. Like, let him play. Like, why are we jumping the gun after 5 weeks?
Who do you think?
It's fascinating, isn't it? Because like at the start of the year when Kane Corns had Sam Darcy top 15 of his best players, everyone, all the pundits said he'd lost his mind.
Yeah.
And like now all of them are like, oh, maybe we should change the Brownlow voting because then key forwards could be recognised, because I've never seen a key forward as good as this guy. Like it's crazy how if you live long enough, you become the hero and the villain all in the same year.
But is he picking him in the top 50 or top 15 based on now or potential? Because I always look at that's where there's that grey area where they're picking him in there. But to me, there would be 15 players better than him. There would be. Like, to me, Ben King right now is better than Sam Darcy, I think, on current form. Or am I way off there? Ben King's been unreal this year.
He has.
Or
he has.
He's not that much worse that he wouldn't be in the top. Like, based on Kane's selection, he'd be in the top 30 players right now then.
I'd also say Sam Darcy is an athletic freak. Like, when he's that tall, I think a lot of his... Like when people talk about, he's contested marks, I'm like, there's about 4 defenders who are close to him in size. But then add the fact that the guy can sprint as well, where usually they're like Sam Day running around like that.
Well, there's also the fact, there's also the father-son. I think that also adds gravity to the conversation.
Yeah.
Because it is the magic of the AFL, the father-son rule, and like there is a magic to that story. And I think that gives you, I mean, it can work both ways. The spotlight can be too bright because the name's too big. But when the player does fit the shoe and the player actually does shine and the spotlight isn't a burden, like Nick Dacos is obviously taken the Dacos name with ease. And, Darcy seems to be taking the Darcy name with ease as well. It can amplify the hype.
Yeah, because I was also watching on one of them stupid shows the other day. They were talking about Petrarca and the form he's in, and they were saying like he's back to his best and Zach Merritt. But then when you look through it, Hugh McCluggage at half forward might be the best player on the planet at the minute, but you never hear him mentioned in any article. And I'm like, if McCluggage played for Carlton, I could guarantee there would be Brownlow Cluggage. Do you know what I mean? People will be talking
100%.
about it. And Josh Tracy's another one, come from nowhere. And all the talking I did a video on it as well. They've not addressed that key forward thing, and it's been an issue since Jesse Hogan left them, and he wasn't the man. Josh Tracy's like, at the moment, he's dead-eye Dick. He can't miss, can he? He's like closes his eyes and kicks snags. Come from nowhere, not getting the hype. But it's fascinating to me. Like, I never believed in Vic Bias until this year. And genuinely, like, just reading the articles about the draft already, the Vic kids getting so much glazing. And I'm like, okay, all right, cool. I get it now. It's because they're Victorian. If this guy was playing in the
For sure.
Queensland under-18s, everybody would be like, who's this mug?
Sure. It's there. It's there.
Interesting.
All right. What are we doing? Lock of the week?
Yeah, we can do that. We can do
Lock of the week?
week.
All right. Lads. Let's do it.
I'm going to kick it off. I don't
give
think
me-
I've done this on the show. I'm gonna go Saints. I'm locking in my boys. I'm doing it against the Dogs. Yep, I think we'll bounce back.
Ooh.
Really? I don't think I don't think I've ever done it.
No, you've never locked in the Saints before.
Nah, Sunday night, get stuffed. Yeah, I think we'll bounce back against the Dogs. Bont or not, I think we'll be right under the roof. We're a different team at Marvel.
Sunday night. Oh, 7:20 Sunday. Why? Oh, it's Easter. True.
It's Easter.
Yeah.
I kind of don't like playing on a Sunday night slot, but we'll take it. Should be a decent crowd. Doggies are up and about. I think we are as well still, so should be
Not
a nice
ideal.
turnout.
It's not ideal for content Sunday night.
No,
games.
for a regular fan, it's perfect. Go out afterwards, but when you're going to do the review, it'll be a bit of a late one. But if we win, it'll be nice. That's the pure
used to
rival.
like-
We talked about rivalries, I think a few weeks ago. Saints and Dogs. There's a bit of tension there between those two fan bases. So
You're used to late nights on a school night, though, like 9:30 coffees and stuff.
yeah, absolutely. I love going for a walk and clearing the head, like what Terry does. He does the 3 a.m. sauna runs. I do the 10 p.m. coffee runs. So everyone's got their little
Nice.
breather, you know.
I went for a full-blown, I don't know what you call it, mental health walk, 1 hour and 25 minutes from 5 p.m. today. Just,
Yeah.
you know, when like there's a lot of silence around and like the walls cave in your mind and you just got to get outside and smell some air and just walk. I pounded the pavement for 1 hour and 25 minutes today.
Yeah.
It was great.
Love those.
Yep.
Yes. So
I don't know if I'm going to put it as the lock of the week. I think the Pies are going to beat Brisbane.
that's a good one.
Fuck it. I'm going to do it.
They've been behind at halftime in every game, if I'm not mistaken. This year.
I mean, I watched them pretty closely last week, and they're so connected to one another.
They're a team, Terry.
Yeah, they are. They
They're
are
a proper team.
so connected to one another. Like they had Houston, Schultz, and DeGoey out, which, I mean, 2-3 changes, doesn't matter who they are, it changes things up, particularly players in those roles, one behind the ball and two ahead of the ball. Yeah, I'm going to do it. Pies.
Yep.
Lock of the week.
It's a bit disappointing. I was going to do that one, but we'll go. Who is the most hyped team in the AFL?
The most hyped team in the AF Hawthorn.
I would have said Hawthorn before the other night.
But if you're honest, Jake, it's GWS. We all know it is.
Yeah.
They get a lot of love. Adelaide
Yeah.
beat GWS and is a two-way prediction. They win by more than 6 goals and they keep them to less than 70.
Wow.
Jeez. That's
Defensive masterclass, and they continue with the triple figures. Get on the Crows train.
Haven't they conceded 90 plus points in the last 2-3 weeks, the Crows?
That's why it was a big thing. They shore up their
And you think
defense.
Okay.
It's definitely a tinker. When you watch Crows, it's definitely a tinker. It's just they just need to learn to pull back a bit. I think when you watched Collingwood last week, what they did well is they know when to pull back when the game's going a little bit dangerous.
Yeah.
I think that's what Adelaide have got to learn. I think they get an opportunity because GWS, I think, are very temperamental when I watch them.
I also do think the Saints will win for what it's worth. Jake,
Night, mate.
the Blues and the North Melbourne Footy Club. What happens on Friday? Just from an unbiased, low-key Carlton hater, like what happens?
Low key, are you sure?
You're not a
glad I've
real
kept
hater.
it under
You're
wraps
just like
pretty
low
well.
key. It's just it's there.
Yeah, it's there. It's there. Far out. Well, first of all, I'm not going to take the West Coast game into consideration at all.
That's fine.
But North have been. Who did North play last week? Remind me. Gold Coast.
Gold Coast.
And they were good for what? 3 quarters, and then they fell away and they got belted in the end. I think it's not going to, at least from a neutral point of view, I wouldn't mind one of these Good Friday games not being over at quarter time or half time like they've been. I don't think it'll be one-sided. I do think the Blues might just get up, but I'm going to tip them by under 18 points. I think it's going to be the closest Good Friday game ever.
So you're tipping the Blues?
I think I'm tipping. I mean, I don't want the Blues to win. I'll be up front, but I think they'll win. That's how I'll put it. Yeah,
that's good enough for me.
So,
I'll take that.
I'm happy to lose. I'll tip them, but I'm happy to lose the tip. Is what I'm saying. I mean, North. I mean, are they underwhelmed? Like they belted Melbourne, and everyone got way ahead of them. Have they underperformed in the first 5 weeks? Like from your perspective,
North.
Yeah, North. Like, do you think they should have taken at least another scalp outside? Like, is Melbourne a scalp even based on what we've talked about tonight? Like, you know?
I met with Marnie from Kanga TV today. We did an interview and she was just kind of giving me the whole North Melbourne perspective.
And?
Have they underperformed? I wouldn't say
Yeah.
I wouldn't say they've underperformed, but I mean the expectation is there from their fans for the first time in a while. I mean, from Marnie's point of view, this week is a 50-50 game, which I haven't heard that from a North Melbourne supporter in a while. I don't know if it's 50-50, but I'm not super confident that it's a guaranteed win for the Blues, especially by 10 goals.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I don't think it's going to be those blowout Good Friday games like we've seen. And you've lost a key pillar, I guess, in the forward half, right? In Kemp?
Both of them, yeah, Kemp and Mackay.
You've lost Mackay as well?
Yeah, he got a concussion.
Oh, shit. Okay, I think I might have to change my tip. No, I think I think Kerner will... I think it's going to be that one game that you haven't seen this year where the senior boys just put it on their shoulders and go, all right, we'll just get the chocolates. Cripper, Kerno, Jacob Wiedering, the second best fullback in the league. He'll get the job done.
Oh, you're so smug. It makes me sick.
What do you mean I'm smug? I'm pumping your team up. What do you want from me? I need to just like cover my smile as I say these things. Like
that's right, mate. Round 9 is approaching. Round 9 is approaching.
That's all right. I'm enjoying the last couple of wins. I'm enjoying them until then.
That's fair. It's
just round 9's just another game, mate. It's just another game. It's not a big deal.
Okay.
Now you wait till you do this show, mate. I tell you what.
I was pretty good after last year, wasn't I? I was pretty humble after. I mean, you made finals anyway, so if you hadn't have made finals, maybe then it would have been worse. But you snuck in anyway, so you kind of had to.
See, look, there's always the sole pot shot with you. Oh, it's always the sole pot shot. Second best fullback in the league. Fell over the line.
Speak for yourself, mate. Speak for yourself.
It's just a crazy reality that a month ago, I was talking about. We were talking about the standard being like, gotta get into the top 4, and then all of a sudden it's a 50-50 coin flip against North Melbourne. Whatever.
I think North have improved. Like it's a balance, right? You're out of form, but North are improving. The gap bridges at that point, but you should still win. You should still win. You should still win.
We'll see. We'll see. Any last thoughts, Pommy?
I'm even less confident now. Jake's pepped it up. To be honest, I'm having Collingwood vibes when Swoop started pepping us up, saying it's a 50-50 game. Do you know what I mean? I was genuinely on my feet up until Jake started predicting the game, and I'm like, oh my God, we're really bad.
Well, I don't know. Like, how are you feeling? I mean, are you actually nervous about this game? Like, genuinely speaking, just to quickly get a.
This is the first North game in a while that I go into where I don't say, "Oh, we should be winning by 10 goals."
Yeah.
Like, I think we'll win, but I would be surprised to see us obliterate North Melbourne.
Who do you have after North?
Geelong, Sunday, 3:20. It's the 30-year anniversary of the 95 flag. They're going to wheel out the legends, Jake. They're going to wheel them out in their wheelchairs one by one. They're going to be on the ground while the Blues come out. And if we lose that game, there will be fucking hell to pay for it. Oh.
Yes. 1 week at a time.
Hey, what is how long do you think a premiership celebration should last before you stop celebrating it?
I mean, depends on how frequently they are. Like, years.
Tommy?
Years for me.
Genuinely, if it was a human being and you could have sexual intercourse with it and not go on a register, I think it's literally time to stop talking about it. So 16 years, like max. Like, to be honest, I'd have a 4 or 5 year turnaround. To mention it in the fan base, mention it in the press, I think round 1 is too old. I think
fair.
if Brisbane started mentioning, "Oh, but we won the flag," that's too long. Now it's a new season, but like doing anniversaries of it, that's embarrassing. Do you guys do that?
Well, I don't think we've done a.
Like, did you do like a 50 year?
I think we did against Collingwood at the G. I can't remember. I was there 20.
Like 1996, did you do one?
Oh, I've got no idea. I was 4 years old. I don't know.
Because that makes no sense. Like a 30, like
I think we did it. We did it against the Pies maybe 7-8 years ago. I remember.
Wasn't
That
that
would've
your
been 50.
club anniversary?
2016.
Was
That's
Oh, was it?
2016. So that would have been 50 years, 50-year anniversary, and I
so
think
you
they-
linked it with something important.
Yeah, and then we won. We won that game against the Pies. I think it was.
You haven't seen us play milestone games, mate.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm gonna Google that. St Kilda
yeah. Can you check
30
that?
year anniversary. Because I'm telling you now, if
50.
if,
We
if,
did 50. 2016. We did it. I don't know.
if they
about
brought the
30.
World Cup trophy and put it at Wembley during like a friendly game against Finland and said, "Ladies and gentlemen, Sir Jeff Hurst," like there'd probably be anarchy. They'd be like, "It's been 50 years, boys. Let's calm it down." And there's an excuse. We play every 4 years. So 30 years isn't that bad. Let's have a look. St Kilda's anniversary.
Was it 2016? Around
No,
4 or 5?
No, but because we're doing a 30-year one, so I'm just thinking is
Oh.
30 years like in Australia is 30 years, 50 years to
That's
you
a-
guys?
Yeah, I was going to say that's a weird thing. I've never
No, they
seen
didn't.
another club do that. But we did 50.
They didn't.
Yeah.
They didn't.
And also it's our only one, so like
No, but
Let
I
us
would
be.
understand it. I was going to say there's an excuse because
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
your only one. Like Carlton
Yeah.
have got another 15 in the locker. Like, Terry, you've actually put me off, man. I was actually in a real good mood.
I love that we could have closed the show and now we're just this
What-
is
like,
awesome.
what-
I
Why?
know.
Why?
It winds him up something shocking.
No,
It's
because
great.
maximum we're going to be 2 and 4.
Yeah.
So why do I need to see Cooter and his fish and chip shop owning mate? Come on. I hear it every day. Like, I can't even go for a coffee without it being rammed down my throat at the football
It's just
club.
it's an excuse. They'll have are they wearing a special Guernsey for it?
Yeah, there'll be a fucking t-shirt
Yeah,
for
yeah,
$29.99.
Bit of merch.
You know when I'll find out, Jake? You know when I'll find out? It'll be $30. Carlton, you'll hear this. Carlton beat North Melbourne, and I'll get a fucking email saying it's $30, but for 20% off, because when we win, you win. I can get a 95 commemorative fucking t-shirt, and it'll be that stupid Carlton, like, you know, the one that they used in the Herald, the little stupid
Yeah,
face. Great, yeah, cool. And I wonder why I haven't seen a flag. This is why. This is why, because they've still not sold all the fucking merchandise. They can't win another one. Right.
There'll be a bobblehead, no doubt.
Stop talking.
Speaking of, Jake, look what I got this week, mate.
Is that you?
Christine,
Jeez.
fan of the channel, made a bobblehead.
Oh my god.
Right?
And you think I got a cheeky smirk? Look at that.
Yeah, it's got yeah. So
Unreal.
You're saying this is what I'm dealing with, Jake. See, look.
Yeah, I can see now, Pom. Now I get it, mate. I get it now. God, it's just clicked to me.
It's that bad. It's infected the content creators. They've got their own bobbleheads. I can't
30-year anniversaries, bobbleheads.
Like
What's next?
In 10 years' time, Terry's going to do a 30 anniversary special of the first ever fan cams or something. You know? And I'll still be here waiting for a flag, just waiting for the standards to catch up to me.
Poor thing.
Oh dear. Anyway,
This got dark. This got dark.
Yeah, you wait. You just wait until we play Geelong. Just wait.
I was in such a good mood.
Geelong will be up for it. They're going to be so up for that.
Yeah,
we're going to be up for it as well because you're going to see, like, you know, all the relics of the past.
Yeah, you can't lose it. You can't lose it.
Yeah, So see Glenn Manton there. He'll be telling the same story he's told us 55 fucking times. Yeah, great. Just win a game, Blues. That's all I want.
Oh man, it's so good.
You'll win this week, Pom. I've told you. I'm tipping you. You'll win. You'll beat North.
Yeah, but I'm not even confident now because now I've got 95 in my head. So now I'm double guessing my tip.
Oh dear. All right, let's call it. It's 9 p.m. Thanks, lads. Thanks, ladies and gents. Hope you had
Thank you very much.
good time. Good luck to everyone, and go footy.
Yep.
Go Footy.
See you guys.